On the edge of space, before time began, there was only the hubverse. Sprocketeers avenged clarity, they dismantled obscurity, they danced when the flywheel spun. Here, we bring you the stories and the journeys to becoming the HubSpot Super Admin. In this episode, Nick explains how he builds unicorns, his path to growth, and we get a first ever appearance of his personal assistant. Welcome to Becoming a HubSpot Super Admin podcast, powered by Sprocketeer, Spinny, where we're championing HubSpot Super Admin. With us today, we have co-founder of Decker Devs, a CRM and CMS development shop, Nicholas Decker. He does the tough stuff when it comes to HubSpot development. Hey, Nick.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I'm really looking forward to today. One, because we've talked a couple times, and now those couple times have turned into like a friendship more than just, hey, this HubSpot stuff is fun and tough. And I'll tell everyone who's listening right now, the reason I reached out to Nicholas was not because he taught me something in HubSpot development, though he has done a lot of that since. But the first one was your ridiculous video on Instagram trying to explain something in HubSpot.
That's the only one that saved that day. My marketer logged out of her Instagram, and we lost all of those reels we made. So that's the one that stays. That will be repeated for a while. So
it's amazing.
That's fun.
Thanks for being here. To get us started, why don't you tell us, Nick, what is your favorite HubSpot tool and why?
I'm having a hard time pinning this one down. I want to say, for the longest time it was HubDB, and recently, the custom coded workflows, super amazing to be able to work in those and to have that kind of functionality. It definitely is so much nicer now than what it was before. Just basic, being able to jump in there and do some things with the code is awesome. There are still a few limits, but nothing that we can't work around and just really, wow clients with. And, that's the easy part is just, driving it home for the clients. It makes it an easy thing to use. Wasn't a lot of stuff to figure out. I just love it.
Awesome. So it was the custom coded workflows, but now it's HubDB.
No. It was HubDB. Now it's the custom coded workflows.
Now it is received.
Yes.
All right. Maybe that'll come up in a later one. I'm curious on the last question here, but let's hear then what it is right now. So at Decker Devs, what is it? Just give us a couple statements so that we understand where you're currently at and what you're currently doing more than I said.
Yeah. So I want to say right now I'm very much more of a salesperson that moves from sales to architect, where we can call it sales. It's really just, hey, I'm meeting with these people and I'm talking about their issues that they're having, their business issues, and I'm trying to solve them, or I want to actively solve. And that's not just their business issues, it's any issues. I just want to be a problem finder and a problem solver. So that's, from there, and then it goes into defining what that solution is and the technical issues that will arise, and trying to find the best place to be between their unicorn. I want everybody to have their unicorn.
Right.
What if this was perfect? What do you want this to be? So we aim for that, and if we need to negotiate with imaginary horses with then we say, okay, so you don't have a horn, you just have the horse, and but maybe the horse flies and it's a Pegasus, it's different, right? But we try to I really want to make all of that work. So, and then that's what I do more or less, and everybody else on the different people on my team do all the other stuff that that, and I want to be there from the beginning to the end with the client, make sure that they're, everything is going good with them.
Right. Rainbow tail, I think we have to keep.
Yep. Oh, hey, listen, we're going to need a filter so that you have the rainbow puke too.
I love that idea that, then the engineer in me, we usually would work that way where it's like, well, what's our best case scenario? And we'll reverse engineer it. And then we'll realize that the requirements to get there are ridiculous. And so we'll just say, hey, based on the technical, right, or resource requirements, it's easy to say, let's alter it. And it sounds like you, calling yourself an architect, kind of do a similar thing, which just makes complete sense to me. It's just like, well, yeah, that's how you go about it.
I think with the way that HubSpot is moving and has moved with like more advanced things going on with the CRM and everything, that a HubSpot architect is just going to be like a thing. Right. Where before it was just, hey, a salesperson said, hey, there's a developer, let's smash it together. We've got a design. Like now there's a lot more stuff going on, and there's, data involved. And so I think architect is a kind of a place that I fit. And I enjoy like getting into that and figuring out what it's going to take.
Love it. All right. So you defined for us the now. Go back to what sparked your HubSpot life. Give us the other end of the story here. What started you in this trajectory? Not your high school summer job. your HubSpot life.
Oh, Miami subs really got me into CRM.
It all started at the putt-putt.
Yeah, wearing the chicken suit and waving at people driving by in my KFC costume really got me.
Did you wear a chicken suit?
I wore a chicken suit.
I wore a chicken suit at a restaurant. I did, and I waved at people driving by.
Yep, I would have the drive-through thing on, and then I would like get over into the window and like go into their like passenger window, and they would hear it through the drive-through speaker and just
This is off the rails, you.
Yeah. See, let's keep it focused.
All right.
So it's really two parts, right? So I was working for a software company as like a inbound sales slash marketing slash designer slash website maintainer, and they had me like doing a lot of focus on outbound calling. And they had some terrible CRM called Sales Logic, and like I helped them move to Salesforce, which was really cool. At that same time, I found HubSpot as a way to, it was just like a tracking code at the time, and I only got them to agree to the free. So basically, I just like looked at IP addresses being on different pages, and like I was like, this is where the future is going. Like
nice.
This type of data on websites. And it really like, I was just doing like PHP and WordPress at the time, and it like really propelled me. I was working at a software company and like it just got my gears going back into development mode, where I hadn't really ever done development as a job. And then so fast forward a couple of years later, I kind of tried to implement some of the things that HubSpot were doing with landing pages and like what we were calling merge fields at the time. And then I found myself at Impulse Creative, applying to Impulse Creative and working for Remington Begg. And he was a HubSpot shop. I was like, whenever I saw that it was a HubSpot shop, I was like, let me apply here. Like,
right.
They're getting ready to release this new thing. Like I had just been kind of like following along. And he gave me like the freedom to just like go ham. And just, hey, there are so many limitations to this. And I'm like, no, there's no, I'm a no limit soldier. But it was like, hey, can we do this in HubSpot? I'll figure it out. Well, we don't have like access to a back end. Yeah, it's okay. I'll figure it out. And that was just like that. That's like, the love.
That's awesome.
HubSpot couldn't get away from me, and I figured out how to do everything, and well, maybe not everything. You had to. Sometimes they got a Pegasus. But yeah, and that's like really the beginning of the end for me. Just falling in love with the HubSpot life. I think my first inbound, I had orange hair.
I think they'll have to bring that back. I know Rob had the orange suit this year.
Yeah,
it'll be hard to top that. He'll have to get hair.
That's kind of how I got attracted to the Sprocketeer community, was that orange.
Nice.
I took a couple pictures and talked to him about that.
Big shout out to Robert Jones. You're a legend. All right, so we have where you are now. We have kind of where things started, which is kind of like all of us. I love how you had all these slashes. It was this slash, this slash. That is all of us.
I think you need to wear a lot of hats to understand the entirety of HubSpot. And if you're just focused in that small little section, then you don't find yourself being kind of a HubSpot super admin.
Right, agreed. It's just the way it works, kind of. So between those two stakes in the ground, what have been then some milestones along the way? What are some things that you, as you reflect back, say, that was a big step that I got to? And I feel like you already shared one, which was, no, I tell an impulse. I got this. I'm gonna build it.
Yeah.
That seemed like one for you.
Yeah. So we did at Impulse Creative, we did a massive project. Again, Remington just kind of like letting me do my thing. I did so much work in the community, in the chat forum or whatever, message boards or whatever. And I would answer everybody's questions and everything like that. It's like the same thing I do in the Slack channel now. But we got this web app, and I sold a job that was like $250,000, and we built a web app. And that was like, hey, like, I really know what I'm doing. Like it made me believe, like, before it was so much imposter syndrome, and then at that point, and when we wrapped that job up, it was like, man, I feel really good about myself. And like, I was really feeling myself. And then I found myself, hey, I want to jump to the next challenge. I want to manage like 10 developers. And that's where I found myself at Square 2 Marketing, and ran that development team for a while in whatever capacity at the time. And really like moving through there into like the director of development position. Just as I got to the director of development position was there, like the next milestone was really me deciding that, and nothing against any agency I've worked for, or anybody that's out there. Like, I'm not calling any specific thing out there. I wanted to be more in control over the clients and the work I did. And I mean, I enjoyed getting whatever thrown at me and always saying, I've got it, and just knocking it out. I was like, now I want to like go out and I want to find those crazy jobs. I don't want to do some of this, and I don't want to work with a jerk client that, we have to deal with for another 6 months because we've got them on retainer. So I want to kind of pilot my own ship, and I want to decide, what I want to take on. And so that's kind of where I think 4 years ago, I went off on my own, and I was just going to do freelance and just kind of fly under the radar and live the lifestyle, and I realized that that's not me. I like the work. I like, my therapist says it's a thing because of my mom. I'm just a people pleaser, and we don't have to go down that road or anything. But I like those challenging problems, and I like to at the end of the thing, people are like grateful that you solved a problem for them. That's the kind of interactions I like, and so I found like a couple good developers to work with that share my thirst for doing things outside of the box. And we've been working together for like a year now, maybe a little bit longer. and that's when I just started to grow. And I'm not sure how much more I can grow because I'm really like the blockade at this point. But I think like that's where we're at right now. That's the
And that's what you
milestone
like,
of,
though, yeah?
yeah. Yeah.
You like being the blockade so that when you don't want more is what it
Yeah.
sounds like.
Yeah.
You
I don't.
want
Yeah.
what you can
And
do.
it's probably control issues and going back to the therapist and all of that. But
They say, Nick, I mean, that's one of the things that we do in life, that we find ourselves choosing the problems we want to spend our life solving. And it's like, you have these agencies who gave you the opportunity to solve problems. And you're like, wow, I love solving these terrible, shitty problems, maybe. But I kind of want to choose which ones that are terrible and shitty. Like, I want to decide the stuff I want to wade through. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, those are the basic milestones. Like if my kid's watching, obviously you being born was a milestone, but
we love you.
Watching.
We love you. You're not watching this. Well, maybe in 20 years, right? Maybe in 20 years. Let's see what Dad did. All right. So we went through, love that the growth was so organic to, you went into stuff that you enjoyed and that took you to another level that you enjoyed, that took you, who are some people, love on some people for us along the way. So call out, mentors or coworkers that, as you again reflect back, were like your homies, you know?
Yeah, I feel like when I looked over the questions that I didn't read this one. So, you know, I want to say like, obviously my dad, my stepfather kind of got me into programming at a very early age. So, you know, just so much, whether that was on accident or on purpose, but, you know, like I was in middle school, like messing with viruses and going on BBS and whatever. I'm not going to get into all that. So like that was definitely something that was awesome. He kind of like took me under his wing when I was 5 and introduced me to computers, and I just ran with it. I want to say when I was at that software company, there was quite a few people, you know, it was like my first like corporate job maybe, or like like where there's like politics or whatever involved. Like there's like, like you can't just, it's not like just going into KFC or something, you know. It's not like, you know, you gotta like mind your P's and Q's and whatever. And I'm not very good at that kind of stuff. So there was a guy, Michael Shear, that definitely like he ended up being my supervisor. They tossed me around because they didn't know what to do with me, and he really like gave me some amazing life lessons and just like instilled quite a few things. And this was like age 27 to 30. So like right at the time of me like getting to the point where like I'm finally getting it together in my head and like, oh yeah, I can do something with my life.
Yep.
So I want to say Michael Shear definitely was amazing. Remington, you know, I don't know if I have been closer to a boss than Remington. He definitely, you know, we would just be pounding out whatever work, and he was like always there for me. And you know, he was, I mean, I think he's younger than me, but you know, was a business person early on, and
it's cool that you don't know.
Yeah,
that's cool.
like I'm pretty, because I went to school with my wife, and my wife's a couple years younger than me, so I'm pretty sure he's younger than me. But I also think a lot of people, I'm 42, so a lot of people in the industry are kind of younger than me when we talk about like coding and stuff, because that's not like this is, you know, HubSpot's kind of fairly new to that stuff. So like those are like the two main people that really like got my mind into the right position of like, you can do anything, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, if 3 weeks ago, or, you know, a year ago, I would have said Kanye West. I mean, Kanye West definitely like taught me a whole bunch about self-esteem and doing the impossible. And now that guy is just, you know, a train wreck. So if anything, like that's like a, hey, don't go down that road.
Yeah.
So maybe he's still a positive mentor towards me. I don't know how to spin that in a better way. Yeah. But like that like
Heard.
just that having self-confidence and having like some faith in yourself goes a long way. And I think that's hard, and you have to have some people reinforce that, and those people definitely reinforce that. And there's been plenty of people along the way. I don't want to sit here and do another 10 people though.
I love how you framed it. I appreciate and respect that you actually went personal on your professional journey. So often we forget that, hey, we have this foundation we're standing on in any professional thing we do because of all the personal relationships we have. I super respect that that's where your mind went. And thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, I have a hard time not mixing the two. I think I wear my heart on my sleeve, and it's just, if I'm talking to you, it's because like I want to spend my time with you. It's not, I don't try to do anything that I'm like forced to do. So, if I'm here, I'm going to enjoy it, and I want to be like a real person.
Wait, what? You want what? That's crazy.
Just sometimes.
Not too often.
Just a little bit.
All right, our last one here. This is an interesting one where people will take it and where people go. So Nick in 10 years. So Nick 2032. He's got something to say to Nick 2022. What does he tell you? What does he say?
Don't put an area for your child to sneak up on you while you're he's literally inside my desk right now. There you go. All right. Love you, buddy.
Correction, always have a spot for your children to play in your workspace.
Right. Obviously, 10 years from now, talking to the current me, I'm going to say that I probably need to I'm probably going to say, hey, you probably need to not take yourself so seriously sometimes, and realize that, you are human and there's only so much you can do. I think that I try to take on so much right now and try to be like this in this force. And sometimes I just need to say, hey, I can't get that today. And I have to, I think 10 years from now, me is talking to me about having some boundaries in my life. And it's something,
Received.
That's why I have a therapist.
We referenced your therapist. Like what's your therapist's name? Unnamed therapist. We're going to call her Jennifer. Jennifer has really done a number.
Carrie Ann, I want to say EMDR therapy has done wonders for me and for some of my things. Carrie Ann, basically after I started going to therapy, that's when I started to scale my business, because I was able to let go a little bit and trust other people where I wasn't able to before. So therapy has been real good for me.
Those of you listening, if you've just missed it, he dropped a bombshell. After therapy was able to grow because he started to deal with the things on the inside, and it helped him then manage the things on the outside. Boom.
The trauma response to just the whole idea of scaling just was so terrible, and it would put me in my bed and anxious and not want to get out of bed. And, you can only do that so many days when you're your only source of income. So I had to get help.
Super respect the share, but then like you're able to say that because it's a thing you did. Like you're able to report basically. Talk about it a lot. Hearing someone that I respect say a similar idea based on your experiences, super appreciate.
Yeah, thanks. I'm very open about it.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks for being on the Become a HubSpot Super Admin podcast. Where can people find you if they want to reach out and chat with you?
You can find me on Instagram. Decker AF. That's DECKER, like my last name, and then AF. I'm not sure what that stands for, but I am Decker.
Audio fusion.
Yeah. And I'm on Twitter as Nick Decker Devs, DEV as in Victor S. I'm not super active on there because Twitter can be a little too much for me to handle, but when I try to get in there and get out quickly.
Received.
And
Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah. And I think I do a little bit of YouTube streaming, and am going to be picking up like code streaming and like getting into like problem solving. I think like Friday nights is what we're going to do, and just like have some different people on and say, hey, give me an imaginary problem or give me a problem you're doing right now, and like let's go over it and just screen share and teach people like the method of like problem solving and how to like debug some issues, and not charge anybody for work. Just go over there and like share the experience, because I think like a lot of people don't know how to like problem solve. They don't, so I think sharing
how do you just break it down and then get after it?
Yeah,
love that.
So yeah, I'm getting into that stuff, and then we're trying to like get like a developer community type event in person going. A super loving the inbound thing, and kind of connecting with people after being whatever you want to call it, locked up for a little bit.
Never
not prison. Yeah, not prison. Just locked up inside your home. And now that in-person events are like back, getting some developers together and being focused on, the issues we have, not just, what HubSpot wants to teach us about and what their new products are.
Right.
Like, because that's great for like inbound and developer day, whatever they're doing, but like we still have the same issues that everybody needs to learn. So,
there's still these day-to-day things.
Yeah, we still have all these day-to-day things. We have new people coming in all the time that don't know what's going on, and so kind of look on deckerdevs.com for some more information about that. We're going to launch a website in the next couple of weeks. I've been saying that for like 2 months, so that's probably a lie. We've got to develop.
Watch out on his Instagram, Decker AF. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us, Nick.
Hey, thanks for having me on here. I really appreciate it.
All you Sprocketeers out there, thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next podcast.